And without further ado, I'd like to introduce a Emmy award-winning writer. Two-time. The motherfucking.
Big Bobby Milker.
Hey, the motherfucking two-time Emmy award-winning writer, Elias, a friend of mine. You've seen him before if you tune into Coffee Breath sessions. He's always here for them. As a reminder, you see something you like, drop a paw. Gives him a point. Most points wins. Currently, Miles is in the lead. And without further ado, I would like to introduce my friend.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to talk about something more general that was a little more specified. Something that everybody's interested in is how a game of the year has irreversible damage to the hobby of fishing in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So first, let's look at some graphs. There was actually a very distinct drop-off in the hobby of fishing. Now, I'm not talking about market fish or fishing for profession. This is fishing recreationally, and this information was taken both by the census and, in general, the amount of licenses people were purchasing to go out fishing legally. Illegal fishing has no place in this discussion. Buy your licenses, go do it right, and make sure you're not like overfishing areas. So there's a distinct drop-off. The important things to point out is that it was a distinct drop-off in all sectors. That means people under 15, and that means men and women both decided, you know what, fishing isn't for me. And this is both in renewals of licenses and brand new licenses. And specifically, I want to point out this sharp drop-off at the top, this pink little line right there. That is children under 16. In the year of this drop-off, I'm going to make sure I get this right. Yes, in 2012, that is the distinct little divot right there. A thing came out about 10 years earlier. We'll say 10 years old is the general under 16. And I believe the actions of this game of the year caused irreversible damage to the hobby of fishing. Because, as many smart people on the internet have once said, children play games and learn from video games. That's a fact. We all understand that. And really, it all comes down to the fault of a fantastic game. Jak Daxter, the Precursor Legacy. This is a Naughty Dog flagship experience. If you haven't played it, it was originally released in 2001 for the PlayStation 2. But it had one of the worst created fishing minigames ever. And look no further than the own fan subreddit, where I just took one example of the very cogent, well thought out comments by such lovely people as Qtard and Jin the Awesome. Jin the Awesome, who actually gave a very thoughtful response, could have been the next great fisherman, but unfortunately was not able to because they took away terrible lessons from this game. Now, let me review why could this be so terrible. So should the next just play the video? Hopefully. Yes, it should. Okay. Here's the general rule. You have to catch 200 pounds of fish. 200 pounds of fish. If you miss 20 pounds at any point in time, you lose. If you catch any of the purple eels, you lose. That means you have to play this perfectly to get on a boat to get to the next island. No. Or you don't get to play the game anymore.
No.
So what you're saying is that this is required?
This is a required part of the game. I want to make clear for those of you, I don't have this piece of footage. This has no reflection of how the game actually plays. It is a 3D open world RPG. Think your Breath of the Wild, Banjo-Kazooie. That's a perfect example. It's a wonderful game, except for this part. And more importantly, let's look at the pillars it's taking from the hobby of fishing. You are laying on your belly with a net. That is not something you do with your fishing. You need to catch 200 pounds of it in one go. That is also not something you should be doing. And you have to do it to get on a boat, which is not true. More often than not, people get on a boat to go fishing. So this is patently false. Now, this could have been completely traumatic to the hobby of fishing. However, I want to point out that there was a great thing that happened in 2016. One good thing that happened in 2016. And that was, there was a distinct uptick, I think it's 8%, somewhere in there. Essentially, a distinct uptick, and I think the only explanation, because we have proven that video games cause people to fish more if fishing is represented correctly within the game, which is the release of Stardew Valley, which has the best fishing unity game ever created. That's my presentation. Thank you so much.
Incredible. Wow, that was good. stunning.
Thank you.
I like
I never identified with something more.
Yeah.
Is the
A
outfit
wonderful
too?
presentation, a wonderful work. Thank you so much for your time and your contribution. I really appreciate that. And so timely as well. So timely. I love to see that.
What did I come in at?
340.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now I